Hello everyone. This video is going to be slightly different from all my previous ones because today I'll be taking you through all the drawings and paintings that I've done over the past 4 years. The purpose of this video is to make you understand that with regular practice and by using quality art supplies, you can always take your drawings and paintings to the next level. Let me start with some of the drawings that I made in 2018 when I just started my art page on Instagram. I highly recommend this Strathmore Tone Plan sketchbook if you're just starting out with colored pencils. As you can see, I started with some simple drawings like flowers, red chilies, and fruits. I can say that my skill level at that time was just average because it was the first time that I was trying colored pencils. Also, as you can see here, there are quite a few unfinished drawings because I wasn't confident enough to continue them. In spite of that, I would still practice every day at that time, and the progress was quite slow. But the key to this is to not give up so quickly. Colored pencils is a slow medium and it takes some time to improve your skill level. Also, I started using quality art supplies. So these drawings were made on Strathmore paper, as I told. The color pencils that I used were Faber-Castell Polychromos and Caran d'Ache. So, if you can't afford these expensive pencils, start out at least with a decent brand. I'm not going to talk much about the art supplies here because I've already uploaded a detailed video regarding the same on this channel. The link is now on your screen if you haven't watched it yet. When it comes to colored pencils, I'm completely self taught. I learned all the basics and other techniques by watching videos on YouTube regularly and by following other artists on Instagram. I only had this one sketchbook in the initial days. Later on, I invested on other sketchbooks as well. This is the Mixed Media Visual Journal by Strathmore. Just made a few illustrations on them, and then I also tried the Artisa Grey Toned sketchbook. Earlier, I used to only make a lot of food illustrations. Of course, I tried a few portraits and wildlife drawings here and there, but I found them quite challenging. From my experience, I feel that using a mid tone paper like this one lets you add your highlights and shadows quite easily as compared to a white paper, especially if you are a beginner. These are some of my not so favorite drawings. I've actually drawn the same subjects again this year, and the improvement that I notice is huge. I will show you those drawings in a while. This is the Strathmore mixed media paper, a quite heavier paper which can hold a lot of layers and different mediums. These drawings were made in 2019 and 2020. I think I had improved a little bit by then. It's always better to start practicing by drawing different kind of still life objects until you gain some confidence, and then slowly you can move into say wildlife or portraits or something a little complex. These drawings were made on the Strathmore mixed media toned blue paper. I then started using this Strathmore Bristol paper. It comes in two varieties, a Bristol Smooth and another slightly textured one called the Bristol Vellum. When it comes to paper, I can only tell you what worked best for me or what papers I'm comfortable with, but I cannot guarantee that the same would work equally well for you. It's a matter of personal preference, so it's up to you to experiment and try different kinds of papers. When it comes to photorealism, choosing the right reference is also important. Always use a high quality photograph as your reference and make sure that the photo is copyright free. Better to avoid images from Pinterest or copying other artists' work. One advantage of using a mixed media paper like this one is that you can add a base layer of, say, watercolors or alcohol markers and then add in all the details on top with colored pencils. This just speeds up your process. Towards the end of 2020, we had moved back to India, and at that time, Derwent India approached me for a collaboration. They sent me these sketchbooks and the newly launched Derwent Chromaflow pencils. At that time, the Chromaflow set contained only 24 pencils, so it was a bit challenging for me as I was accustomed to using larger sets of polychromos and Caran Dash. I also had to switch from the toned papers to the white ones, but it was a fantastic learning experience. All these drawings were made using the 24 pencil set. Using a smaller set helped me understand a lot about color mixing. So I always say that it's better to invest in a smaller set of good quality colored pencils instead of investing on a very cheap set, although it may contain a large number of pencils. As you improve and gain confidence, you can gradually invest on a bigger set of good quality colored pencils. Because sometimes a bigger set is very useful to do something very realistic. These drawings were made on a hot pressed watercolor paper. Hot pressed watercolor papers work very well with colored pencils. This was the Fabriano watercolor paper, and the drawings that you see now were made on the Derwent watercolor paper. Again, it's a matter of preference. Some people find it difficult to draw on a smooth surface. Some of them prefer a textured surface, and some prefer a slightly textured surface. I like working on a smooth surface as well as slightly textured one. This one is a slightly textured surface. These drawings were made using the newly launched Derwent ChromaFlow set of 72. I've uploaded short tutorials of these on the channel. Couple of drawings that I made on a black mixed media paper. These are some of my recent bird drawings. The birds were made using colored pencils, but for the background I used the Derwent ink pens. Now let's look at some of the drawings that I made on the Derwent Lightfast paper. These are pure colored pencil drawings. If you remember the bird drawings that I showed you initially and compare them to the ones that are on your screen now, you can see that there's a lot of improvement. With regular practice, you build muscle memory and your speed increases. Also, just by looking at the reference picture, you will be able to easily pick the right colors. I still haven't showed you the paintings that I made with the Derwent Inktense and some of my oil pastel and soft pastel drawings. I will cover them in the next video that I'll be uploading soon. Meanwhile, let me know if you enjoyed this video. Looking forward to your comments on this. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram. Thank you for watching.